Okay, so well, I decided to try to do something new. I guess we were on what we thought was like the sort of end of COVID, and like in January. And I thought I'll probably never have this kind of time again to try something new, right? And we had some projects I went through, like the the recordings of the Jimmy Van Zant band, which was the band that I was in when I was like 21 to 25. So I was the one that like always had these tapes. So one of the projects I did during COVID was to have all these tapes. I took them to my friend Todd Dybel at Silo Sound and had him remix kind of like a or sort of master or something like these tapes. And so that was one of the big projects that I did. And one of the last things I thought was well, let me try to go through some of these songs that I had written on paper for multiple instruments. You know what I mean? Before I got in a band when I was only 20 years old, right? And so, like I have this book here, and one of the songs that we're doing is this one, "Bats in Heat," right? So I wrote
Wow.
it in 1990, and so that's one of the songs that I brought back and wrote new parts for. And basically, I thought, well, I need to sort of have a bigger band than I've had recently. And I need to have people that are really smart with the kind of hard parts, progressive rock kind of guys. That's where I thought of Anthony and Vince and Jason Kather, my former drummer who was on the Tukaki and Nagasaki.
Oh,
Power
yeah.
Project. So he
Awesome.
wanted to do something, and it was kind of like we want to do something a little bit fancy, not just like, oh, here's a few chords, let's jam, but kind of like here's some really interesting sort of parts. Let's do a Zappa song that's really hard. Let's kind of like, what can we do that would be different, and very heavily musical and thought out. So I guess in about January, I thought, well, let me try to bring back some of these songs out of this book and plug them into a new, like a Muse score, this songwriting program. And you can make the instruments any instrument you want. You can hear it plays right back at you. Here's your song, come back to life after 30 years. So I did that with a couple of these songs, and it inspired me to write brand new stuff. And now we have a whole kind of hour or so of material that's basically all pretty brand new, even though some of it's really old. It's never been heard before. It's never been played before.
So let's introduce your new band. Let's see what's going on here. How about Anthony? Tell us about you.
Well, from New York, I started playing bass when I was like a teenager. Started playing in my dad's band. I was in bars, 15, 16, seeing stuff I shouldn't have seen. Played a lot of good music with my dad, and then went to Berklee College of Music. Did that whole thing. Did some music therapy for a little bit for my own bands, which again were like kind of Frank Zappa, like zany type of stuff, solo project, and just became aware with Damon. We became friendly probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even, I used to play in a band, and he did the opening band. I knew who he was. There's the guy who played with James Brown, and it was pretty badass to see somebody like that. And we finally just started playing. We had years and years of talking that we should be playing, but life busy. I got a kid, and this was a good schedule. Finally good, like you said, coming off COVID at the end of January to get back into it, and I'm excited to be playing this music. It's not different than what I'm used to, but the approach is a little different, which is cool. It's exciting, it's different, and like you said, trying to play the notes exactly. It's much different than he said doing some jam band type of stuff where you could all just get together and say, hey, these are the parts, and you have it right there. So it's cool. It's nice. It's like a more like progressive rock type of thing, and a lot of people don't want to do that thing because it's much easier just to say, hey, we're doing a GDA. That's what we're gonna do, and then somebody will cue the ending maybe.
Yeah, my name is Vince, and I started playing guitar when I was, I don't know, 13 or so, and I just had a huge interest in it. I went to school for music because I just wanted to learn as much as I could about music and all the stuff that I was passionate about. And I originally was writing a lot for orchestra and strings and things of that nature. And after I finished school, I did the whole band thing and started my own bands and played around Denver and whatnot. And I started working at a music studio, and that's where I met Damon, who works at the same one. And I've known him for a few years. And with COVID and everything, he mentioned, you know, he was starting a new band, and I thought it was interesting music and be kind of a cool, different thing than what I was used to. I was playing a lot of rock and blues type music, and I liked a lot of the Zappa stuff, and I don't know, it was really interesting. It was kind of cool to kind of play something different and be a part of that. So, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I've seen a lot of the different bands that Damon has put together. Denver's so lucky to have someone of his caliber, and I know that whenever he brings people in, they're equally, you know, it's like he finds those. You have a way, Damon, of finding some of the most talented people in this city, and there's a lot of competition for that. So we're really excited. I know it was you, Damon, that I reached out to when Shine was really just an idea. There was nothing solid around it. And as I was thinking, you know, wanting to get a musician's perspective and engaging how the interest would be, I reached out to you and I told you about it. And what was it about Shine that made you, you know, like, yes, you were instantly, you know, on board and were a huge supporter and reached out to the music communities, which is how we got a majority of the artists playing, is because you spoke up about it and shared the information.
Yeah, just the whole idea that you presented, I thought was, you know, very interesting, and the whole thing of having, like, say someone who can't hear music normally, you know, like to be able to have this technology where they put the, you know, electrodes on you and things, and you can really feel it through your body. Like, you know, I'm a music nut, so to be able to spread music to people that can't normally enjoy it, you know, like we are lucky enough to be able to, that's amazing. You know, so that's next level kind of thing, and that just made me immediately like, I want to help with that. You know, props to you for all the work you're doing on this and making this thing happen. I mean, and hopefully this, like you say, this, like you mentioned before, right? This technology might be coming out eventually to the public and stuff.
Exactly, and fundamentally, and thank you for that. It's been, it's a really interesting thing to literally watch your life purpose unfold. You know, we've all had visions and ideas and dreams, and we've seen that, you know, we've seen them progress and come to reality. And I've had that happen countless times in my life, but nothing that this is without question the reason that I'm on this planet. Why me? I have no idea. But as I say, I think if we all stop saying, why not me, instead of why me, imagine, you know, if I have this purpose, everybody has a purpose. And imagine what the world would be like if we all just kind of were willing to risk it all to make it happen. So we're going to play a track that you recorded to give people an idea of what they can expect to hear from the new Damon Wood Band. Tell us about this track.
Okay, so this is actually one of the songs. So I don't know if I mentioned this during this part or before, but one of the projects I did was the Jimmy Van Zant songs that I had played in this band for 5 years. We remixed them and everything. Then one of these songs only showed up once, and it was a song that I wrote that I showed everybody. There was an instrumental song. You know, I didn't sing then, so I wasn't really, you know, writing lyrics when I was in that band. I was writing songs, and someone else would write the lyrics and stuff. But this was an instrumental song. So this is one that I found on one of these tapes when I went through and did that project. There's one recording of it from a live show in like 1994. And I was like, wow, I remember that. I love that song. Like, I've never played that song since then. So I brought that song back to life. I relearned all the parts and everything. And then that's one of the songs we're doing in the show. And so we made quick kind of demo of it, and put a little video to it.
And there's someone we have some other people who are in your band that weren't able to join us today. Their names and what do they play?
Jason Kather on drums and Adam Bodine on keyboards.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully, it's going to be really exciting for everyone there at the Levitt Pavilion on August 8th, Shine Music Festival. The new Damon Wood Band will be playing on the Hakuna Matata stage, and we're just really excited to have you guys as part of the team. It's going to be a magical day, and I can't wait to share that with all of you. So thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate your support.